Hey everybody, Sean here from Somm Wine Club, and I have got Somm Wine for you. This is the 2019 Bardos Romántica Ribera del Duero that's part of the August 2022 Somm Wine Club box. Ribera del Duero is fantastic. It is a region in Spain, in Castilla y León, southwest of Rioja, northwest of Madrid, in the plains of Castilla y León. Now, they use the same grape variety as Rioja. Tempranillo, also known as Tinta del País or Tinta Fino, is the primary grape variety here, but unlike Rioja, they use a lot less new American oak. So Ribera del Duero, you get, I think, a little bit clearer expression of Tempranillo as a grape variety. You allow it to kind of come through a little bit more, express its character a little bit more. Being that Ribera del Duero is a high altitude mountain plain versus Rioja is a series of river valleys moving out into the plains in the east, you get a different character from the variety grown in this area. So hotter days, cooler nights means that you get a really wide swing in temperature, darker fruit character, higher acidity, and more freshness from those cool kind of mountain nights. Now, Bardos, meaning bard, is a producer that has chosen not to base themselves in what's called the Golden Mile of Ribera del Duero. That's where many of the most prestigious producers are, like Vega Sicilia and Domino Pingus. So they are actually in Soria and Burgos, which is in the southern part of Ribera del Duero, further up into the mountains at very high elevation and in a very challenging environment to make wine. That's part of the reason why they've named themselves Bardos, is the people who make wine in this region, they say, are the authentic bards of wine. They're the only ones that can withstand the harshness of this climate. Now, Romantica is their crianza, which means that this wine spent at least 12 months in oak. In this case, it was 14 months in first and second fill French oak barrels. So though there is a little bit of oak character here, but it is so well integrated into the concentration of this wine that you don't really notice a strong oak influence. But let's taste. There's lots of like really inky black fruit. The translation of Tinta del País could be like country red, but it could also be like ink or like paint of the country, tinta. So, I mean, maybe an allusion to how dark the variety is. Like, I can't see through this at this point. Even though this is a more elegant style of Ribera del Duero, they can be quite robust. This is still dark and inky. Lots of black cherry, lots of black plum, even a little bit of like dried black currant. There's tobacco leaf. There is a strong earthy component here, like a little bit like potting soil or dry earth. Yeah, even though this has spent 14 months in oak, that character is not coming across overly prominently. It's kind of just a subtle background hint of spice character. There's a little bit of cinnamon or nutmeg. Oh, that's so super fresh. You smell it and you think, oh, this wine is going to be big and dense and robust. And it's flavorful and it's concentrated, but it's so fresh. Like, I took this out of my wine fridge half an hour ago and has let it come up to temperature a little bit. So it's probably about 17 degrees right now. And I think that that's a great place for this. Not overly chilled, but not room temperature. You don't want to accent any elevated alcohol in the wine from serving it too warm. Especially this time of year when it is a little bit hotter out, it's better to have things on the cooler side for extra refreshment as well. There's some like pretty intense grippy tannins here. They've got some hard edges, some grit to them, like you feel, but they don't linger quite as long. So even though it's, like I said, it's got strong upfront fruit tannins that have a little bit of graininess and a little bit of grittiness, the wine kind of is washed clean by acidity and freshness and bright dark fruit flavors. This has enough substance and concentration to stand up to like richer barbecue. You could do ribs or chicken. Do like a spatchcock chicken with like a darker Carolina barbecue sauce, a little bit of like caramelized tomato. You get some of those kind of sweet herbal spices in there as well. Anything with a little bit of char. So you could do game meats here. You could do lamb, a rack of lamb, or even lamb stew. If you want to let this hang out for a couple of months, drink this in the fall when the weather started to cool down and you're starting to get into richer, heartier dishes like that. This is a fantastic match because it's going to cleanse your palate at the same time as standing up to really intense food. Super flavorful, super delicious, super great expression of Tinta del País Tempranillo from Ribera del Duero. And I hope that you truly enjoy it. I would love to see and hear what you think. So please leave me some comments, and we will see you all next time. Cheers.